So I think now we can talk a little bit about how we can celebrate spring currently, right? One of the ideas that I think is good for us to do is set our intentions. What do we want to see blooming during this year? Because we had our time of contemplation that is almost ending. So what do you want to see bloom in our life? So as always, you can journal about it. You can maybe light a candle, put some flowers around it because it's spring. If you like to do more like a Wicca style, you can make your own altar and you can place some flowers. You can place, like I said, the candle. You can also place, some people, they like to do baked goods. So maybe like a small bread or, I don't know, a cookie or something you make. And
You can
also,
use the number 3, like we said, so you can arrange things in 3, or work with the shamrock as well, because we understand also that it brings luck, so it's always good.
yes, it's a luck and a trade, so it's a good one. And if you have some space or a pot or a little garden, you can also plant a seed, literally, like the cosmic egg. You can see that seed as the little egg or the little seed of your intentions. And then after you do a little prayer or do a little intention setting, you can plant it on the ground. And then every time you go there and you water it and you take care of your plant, is you taking care and putting energy into what you want to manifest. So it's a beautiful way to do that as well. And you're going to see it blooming during spring. So that's a beautiful one. It's truly like magic.
Yeah, you can always connect with things that are blooming around you at this time. So like seasonal fruits and vegetables and all those things are the best ones to be used because you're in sync with what's growing in nature. And just use your imagination and use your creativity to make what you would like, but make it a beautiful experience because it's a time for inspiration. And so allow yourself to be creative, allow yourself to do beautiful things like Persephone taught us. And yeah, and also incorporate more of the feminine side and the feminine energy into your practice. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. And even though the growing of the sun is the rise of the masculine energy more than the moon, it still is a time that the feminine is allowed to express itself.
And even if you haven't tried to connect with your feminine side before, this is a beautiful time to do that because it's the maiden period, right? It's just being born. So you can try to, bring this energy inside of you and cultivate this as a little maiden and exploring little by little. And maybe you can become more empowered like the goddess you are.
Yes. And to wrap it up, I would like to read something about that I found in a website called druidry.org, and I thought it was beautiful because they explain more about how the Druids celebrated their spring equinox that they called Alba Nailir, and they questioned some things that I think you should think about. So they wrote here, plants are seen by some as inanimate greenery with no actual feelings and life force. But Druids see life in all living things, from rocks and stones to rivers and springs, plants and trees. All life is sacred. Have you ever thought about how you recognize the beginning of spring? Is it plant life, the weather? How does a plant know when it is time to grow? It cannot tell the time or see a calendar, yet it knows. If it has senses, then it has consciousness. If it has consciousness, then it is more than an inanimate life form. So it is the return of life to the earth that is celebrated at Alba Nailir, the time of balance.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for the person who wrote it. There's no author here, but yeah, I found that really interesting, really beautiful.
And I truly relate with that. I really believe everything has a spirit. Plants, animals, mountains, rocks, rivers, everything is alive and deserves to be respected. And I think one of the beautiful things about magic, as people say, is this reciprocity, this exchange. You don't just take what you want. You just don't have this, you know, everything you want by yourself. You have to retribute with something, whether it's your energy or a positive thought or a word of gratitude or a little offering. I think it's really important to recognize that everything is alive.
Yes. So, like we said, even when you're doing your altar, if you're doing a little ritual for yourself during the springtime, when you get the foods from like the seasonal foods, remember to be thankful for Mother Earth because she's the one who gave you this sustenance, this food, and all this abundance that is coming during springtime. So, like my sister said, it's a reciprocity act. So, at the same time you receive, you have to thank and give something back. It doesn't need to be something physical, but just your energy is enough.
Yes, and if you're gonna make some, intention settings during this day and making your altar, perhaps you can take a little time and also not only make this intention for yourself, what you want to bring into your personal life, but maybe for humanity or for the planet itself. Maybe a little word of gratitude to Mother Earth or sending positive energies for the earth itself to have more power and to regenerate and, you know, recover the place she had from the beginning, right? That sometimes we forget about.
Yes. We're visiting Earth. She'll be here for much longer.
Much longer than us, yes.
Yeah.